Hello, Final Dungeon Tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI Brave New World with me, BlueAnkylo. So I've done about as much prep work as I think I'm going to do for the next dungeon. This is not the point of no return. Theoretically, you can go to the final dungeon, get a bunch of late game treasure and beat some bosses, and then still come back and not actually trigger the end final sequence, but we probably won't be doing that unless we get our butts kicked. I spent a fair bit of time between episodes trying to gather up a few spare rages. I couldn't find them, and also trying to use Locke to steal some items. We've had a few comments over the course of the video talking about Locke and some of the rare steals I've missed. There's 4 or 5 items, and I've just never seen them. And I tried to look up a little bit on how to find some of them in Brave New World, and I could never get them to drop. And I may have missed a couple, depending on whether or not you can get them to respawn. You can probably get them all in the World of Ruin, to be honest, but I wasn't having much luck. There's like a knife that you can equip that heals, so you can give it to like Locke and Shadow, and it kind of works like brushes for healing, I think, from what I understand anyway. There's a couple other things, like we got the stat hat, so that was kind of cool. That was a steal-only item, I think. The black heart, the relic that makes you kind of lots of HP, but you can't be healed, really. It's not quite like undead, but that's kind of rare. There's like an item called the lazy shell that I could never get. There's, I think, the mystery egg. Someone commented at some point that they're pretty sure. I haven't actually. I can't confirm it, but what someone has told me is that the let's see, we're here. The mystery egg. I think it's supposed to make your elemental effects on attack happen a little bit more often. I think. Someone may have cleared it up more as the videos have been out longer, but someone can double check that. But there's a few other things. There's like some sort of lazy shell item. Oh, I know. I did pick up one. There was one rare-ish steal that I picked up. It's not very good though. Where is it? Ah, the economizer. Remember the economizer from Final Fantasy VI? It was really good. I keep pressing the wrong button. It doesn't do that anymore. Whatever you... Well, okay. If it still makes MP1, it only is equipable by Umaru. So he doesn't use magic. So, you know, haha, good joke, video game. Thanks, Brave New World. But yeah, there's a few things that I probably missed. Like I said at the beginning, it probably wasn't going to be a 100% Let's Play. And, getting all the rages and getting all the rare steals was never quite on my agenda, but I'd always like to have that perfect save file. I just never have the patience to really do it. Anyway, we approach this giant tower, and then land. We're going in. Alright. Now, you didn't have to gather up your whole team or anything, or do all the side quests. You could have gone here a long time ago. But you probably want... Like, I'm not sure what a good level is in Brave New World. I would assume we're somewhere around average for casual players that aren't pro min-maxers. Challenge run. Uh-oh. Wait a second. If we destroy the 3 goddesses that give magic... Maybe no more magic in the world? Probably no more espers. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. What about, like, someone who's a half-esper? Yeah, I mean... Gotta trust that human blood will keep her alive. Anyway, I did spend a lot of time planning my 3 parties, probably more than I needed to. My general logic here is Terra and Celeste are basically designed to have their own team. You can do whatever you want, but because they've got such a multitude of roles they can fill, they've got good cheap healing spells, so they're good at menu healing and battle healing with higher like life spell and remedy and all that. Plus they've got good offensive magic and physical combinations, so they're like no-brainers to lead. And the 3rd group needed someone who could cover like the basic healing stuff, and there's a lot fewer of them nowadays. Locke gets some healing, but he's not great at it. Cyan gets a bit, Edgar gets a bit. I guess Setzer is sort of a healer, but I'm not even bringing Setzer, forget him. I'm sorry, Setzer lovers, I tried. He's the worst character I've got on my team. I can't find a build for him that doesn't suck. He has healing magic, but he doesn't have cheap healing magic. He doesn't have Cure 1. If he had Cure 1, maybe he would have made it, but he didn't make it. So I decided to go with Realm. Now, she doesn't have... I didn't even rest Red in. Lazy Blue. She doesn't have quite as range that Terra and Celeste has for magic, but she does have a lot more MP, and she has Osmos to restore her MP, so she can get away with casting Cure 3 a lot. So that's how I kind of... One girl each, I figure is kind of cool as well. That means that they can equip the, if I feel like it anyway, the Gale earrings, or whatever they're called, the preemptive strike thing, and only the girls can equip them. So each party could have that. That's cool. So then I'm like, I need to balance the parties out, because some of my characters aren't as strong as the other ones. Obviously Edgar and Sabin are pretty awesome, Cyan's pretty powerful, but there's other characters that aren't necessarily on their team, on their tier. So I sort of split up my weaker characters, and I use the term loosely. Oh, also, as a general rule, Yumero and Mog have to stay together for plot reasons. It's just, he's the boss, Yumero only listens to him. Technically, if Yumero throws Mog, he does bonus damage, so, you know, that they have to go together. And I ended up going, well, Gogo's too much hassle. He's a fine character, but I'd have to level him up more, and his stats are bad. So he's in the Setzer Gogo airship party. So what did I do? I have to get this right, because I spent a lot of time. Also, Gao is kind of in my... Why am I bringing him? But we're bringing him anyway, but he's like... Because he's so uncontrollable, and for me, I haven't found a great use for him, he's my first kind of sucky character. And then Shadow is also kind of one of my sucky characters. He's not terrible, but he's not too hot. And, I think Locke was my third kind of not that amazing. He's not too bad. I'll show you my build for him in a minute, but he's a bit weaker. So what I ended up doing, also I wanted to make sure each group had a physical hitter. So, Sabin is one of my physical hitters. Cyan is one of my physical hitters. Locke is one of my physical hitters, although he's not quite as good at it as the other two. So that's like mage healer, physical hitter, and then someone who's not great. And I'm gonna put Yumero in the not great slot because he's uncontrollable like Gao, and I figure it's nice. I want to split up the uncontrollable characters, and Mog is actually controllable with his dances now, so it's not so bad. And then finally, I'm like, well, Edgar probably should hang out with Sabin, and Strago should probably hang out here. And I think I actually had the girls backwards in my original plan. So it's actually, no, there's an important reason that Celeste is in this one, right? Everyone in this party has fire protection on equipped, so that is actually kind of an important deal. Anyway, like I said, I spent a lot of time building this team, so hopefully this works out for me. And hopefully you understand my basic logic there. Anyway, let's get started. Final dungeon. This was always an interesting area in the original game. If you spent a ton of time getting everyone to level 99 fighting dinosaurs and doing the tricks like economizer stealing and doing the Colosseum to give everyone the best weapons, it's pretty easy. But if you've went here the first time, it was quite difficult. I'm not sure why that was in French. Hopefully my thing is not wrecked. Anyway, you can switch between the three parties. Like we've seen in previous areas, you have to, you know what, why don't we get a special endgame, final dungeon window? Something different. We've used most of them. Channel, you know what, the red's pretty good for the end of the game. Let's just try this one just because it's different. But yeah, you can use your three parties and you'll have to use the three different groups to work together like we've seen before. So, I did equip everyone ahead of time, right? I guess, you know, just if you want to see what we're equipped for the final dungeon. Just quickly, I don't want to spend too much time. I don't know in Brave New World if this is like the best combo. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not the ultimate combo. But here's our stats and our gear if you're interested. And also our Espers, Halidor, Golem, Stray, and Crusader. Not that Gal has very many options for Espers. And then I guess I'll just show everyone real quick again. I don't want to spend too much time here, but there's Terra's gear. I think I mentioned it a little bit in the last episode about why I picked certain equipment. I don't think I made too many changes. I did buy that Mirage vest, so I think I gave up on the Omega weapon for that. But it's pretty good, you know. Some of those things, I tried to spend a little bit more time doing Coliseum tweaking, but I forget the specifics. You know, like I said, I just try to build up on people's strengths, and, you know, hopefully we'll get something out of that. We're still missing one Esper. It is for Terra, so she'll have a boost later on. Odin seems pretty good. Kieran, and it's mostly just so that we've got another way to cast regeneration on everyone. If we find a lot of enemies that use water or something, we can trade some of this stuff around if we have to. And then our final team. I never got any great brushes for Realm. Maybe we'll get them down here in the final dungeon. Mog, actually, this is important. I completely switched my build for Mog in between episodes. He used to be kind of a mid-range Vigor, Speed, Stamina mage. I switched him to be almost all Magic Power and Stamina because I wasn't getting enough damage output on him, and I only had one good Lance. So I left my good Lance on Edgar, and I've switched Mog to Magic Dancing. So that is like the big difference there. It's still good to have the Moogle Charm because it gives you full control over his dance. Even though they're random, you don't lose control of them, which is really nice. And I just gave him, I think, the Amulet. Some of these are just to boost the right stats. It's just to give him a little bit more magic power. There's probably more useful relics. I may just don't have them, or I just didn't care about the effect as much. Sprint shoes for auto haste and stuff would be nice, but you know, auto shell. We can equip some of these if we find we need them, if people keep dying. Anyway, you know, Locke is focusing on physical. I may have rebuilt Locke as well. I've switched him to be full physical and Mog to be full magic. So that's sort of, that's the main differences from probably the previous episodes. Anyway, that's what I've done. We'll see how they do as we fight. Let's get on with it, Blue. Get on with it. Can't go down there. There we go. Right into battle. Alright, Diablos. Alright, now I have to cover a couple things. I have to try to get some value out of Gao, or else it'll turn out I should have just brought Setzer. But hopefully Gao can edge him out, just barely. I've also never fought these enemies in Brave New World, so I don't know what they'll be weak to or strong to or anything. We can kind of expect some of these endgame enemies to be pretty strong, I would guess. Weak to ice. Sure, we have Celeste, she's good with ice. I guess, I don't know, we can probably rush these guys down, but let's see here. Okay, Bioblaster's not really doing anything. We've gone too far for tools. So now that everyone's floating, and I should have done that before battle, I can use my current favorite general purpose rage. That's gonna hurt if it takes effect there. Yeah! Alright, well unfortunately, I mean, I'm glad Gao used Holy Wind, but unfortunately he got hit by Cyclone, so... let's throw in some quick healing here. And we need to kill these guys. Alright, we could get a squad wipe here. Sheesh. Yeah, final dungeon. What'd you expect, I guess? They just comboed us with the 2 spells in a row that, if they do enough damage, you just lose. So, Cyclone, Cyclonic, whatever you call it, is always like that. If you get bad luck, it's just end. I mean, at least I put the Hero's Ring or whatever on Celeste, right? There is another rage that doesn't use White Wind, but something else to heal. But I don't remember what it is. I'll just try Flan. It did something. Look at that, he's healing. Isn't that great? I guess we should try to top him up. Meanwhile, I guess now that I know they're weak to ice, I think Sabin has the Frost Gore equipped, so he should be able to take these guys out in melee. Unless they have nasty counterattacks. Well, he survived! I'm really lucky that I somehow managed to sort of half-guess one of Gal's rages that had the right... Oh, and now Cyclonic does nothing, of course. But that something that actually had a useful healing spell on it, I really wasn't super confident that Flan would work, but turns out we're good. So this just puts... I mean, I'm sure he's got 2 moves, but auto regen on everybody casting regen is pretty good. So this is a pretty awesome first encounter for the final dungeon. This is going to prove that finishing this in any reasonable number of episodes might be a little bit insanely difficult. If every random encounter we fight while we're here takes us, you know, 5 or 10 minutes, it might be a little bit much. Well... Oh! So a Flan for Gal makes him immune to probably most elemental magic. So I mean that's... Some of those things are little... oh, this guy's dead. And no counter, that's nice. So, some of those are nice little points to try to remember for your rages. Sometimes you get a really nice property from the target monster. Alright, I mean, I'd like to show off Gargoyle. We didn't really get a chance, so we're going to try that again. It is a really good rage when you don't get killed immediately. And everyone loses float. Skull Cap. I could have traded for that at some point in the Colosseum, so I don't even really know what it does. Helmet for pretty much everyone with stamina. And not particularly good stats. I don't see the point of that. I guess it has fairly high defense and magic defense. So if you have a character that is built around stamina, which I don't really have anyone, like you could build Terra for stamina. Maybe she'd like that. I didn't really find anyone I wanted to build stamina-wise, so probably not too useful. So you can see these one-way escalators, not too complicated. Alright, this time for sure. I think I've left the menu commands on memory. I should probably undo that, because it messes me up in difficult battles. I like it when I'm grinding, just trying to do fights quickly. I just leave the cursor on the previous selection, basically, but... Alright, that's fine. I did bring shock for... Oh, that was pretty good damage. I tell you, Edgar's not bad. I did put Leo's... Leo's fancy relic on Celeste because it makes her a lot more useful for... Well, this is the group to use that on. Holy smokes, that's a powerful spell. But yeah, everyone's immune to that in this group. But yeah, Leo's Soul, or whatever it's called, should be really good against groups of enemies. And then otherwise she's kind of on support job with magic. I guess I could cast Scan. So there you go. Gao doing a tiny bit of damage. When he's on Gargoyle, he's mostly on... It's to have him help heal the party for free, basically, is what my main thinking is. There we go, 20,000 damage. Thanks, Edgar, for being great. No one else can hurt these things. Alright. So, you know, we found a couple fights. Landworm, now what? These guys are probably immune to Earth. So, Gao... I don't know, why don't you try a Harpy? They have a cool lightning attack. Lightning does nothing, so I'm gonna basically get nothing out of Gao. That's the trouble. If you select a rage that doesn't do anything to an enemy, and a lot of enemies are completely immune to stuff, he's more of a liability than an assistance. I guess I could have scanned first and then used a rage, if I could recognize a good element for him. And I do know something that does a lot of ice and water damage, so... I just took a gamble on lightning, and clearly I was wrong. On the other hand, we've always got Edgar doing a good job here. Wow. I guess that's 75% of your max HP or something. Yeah, so both of Gal's moves are completely useless here. So what we can do I haven't really demonstrated this a whole lot, but oh yeah, by the way, I bought 99 of all the normal stuff because I spent so long in the because I spent so long in the Veldt. We have a ton of money, and then I could buy a bunch of tonics and stuff. So we're pretty good consumable wise. Like, we don't have a lot of MP recovery because you can't really buy them much, but we're pretty good on most things. So it said weak to water and wind, I believe. So the best options are either let's see, the Nasty Dawn is just ice, and I think the Sea Flower is water and wind, technically. And this guy is water and ice, right? And wind might do 0 because we use the wind slash, so we should probably go Nasty Dawn for pure ice. This attack, I believe, does inflict blind, but most enemies seem to be immune to it, so it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, you can kind of see who's dealing the real damage here again. Gao, even when you select the correct rage, for me, he seems pretty bad. Alright, well, he's got on death magnitude, which, I mean, I was floating at some point. Wow, this is gonna take a while. We're not making very good progress in this dungeon. Okay, before I forget, I keep meaning to change. I like the cursor to reset every time you reload the min. Just so it starts at the top, and then I always know where I am. If it's on memory, it can be, it can take me a bit longer to just quickly go through the menu. It's just personal preference more than anything. Okay, getting inside this area. I know there's a couple secrets in here. Oh good, finally the weapon that might make Setzer suck less. Fixed dice are pretty random, but they're not affected by split damage multi-attacks. So Daryl's Soul plus that might not suck. Okay, I don't know what to use in this situation. Sorry, there's like a bug flying in my face. Why don't we try fire here, just for something different. It's, the Revenant? Or no, but then we're undead, so we can't be healed. Man, I just don't like Gao. This is too many options here. I never find what I want. Because unfortunately the undead ones... You know what? Let's just put on Flan. That seemed relatively useful, although not particularly great. It actually gives him a pretty powerful wind-water attack, apparently. And it does basically nothing. That's pretty standard for me. Well, let's try to do just some average damage, or some group damage here. That did a lot of damage. And then unfortunately he's got an instant death attack, and that take out half the party. And Gao's uncontrollable, so we could lose right here. Because I can't do anything about Gao, and he just killed 2 out of my 3. So... yeah, I mean, I guess we should just run. This is turning out to be a less enjoyable final dungeon than I was hoping. We've talked about it. I didn't buy any warp whistles. That's great. We've definitely talked about it during the course of the game. Brave New World, although they don't advertise it as a difficulty mod, some parts of the game are kind of too difficult for my preference, and this might be one of them. So, if we're going to run into groups that basically have X-Zone just randomly and can just wipe out your entire party, it forces us to have to find equipment that gives you death protection. I don't have very many that block death. Celeste died there, so the ribbon clearly doesn't stop X-Zone. So, I think you have to go with the lowly Spirit Ring. You've got Death Ward and Spirit Ring, and maybe the Memento Ring, and I think that's it. So I'd have to basically switch... This is really dumb. Basically, I'd have to equip each of my 3 groups with 4 Spirit Rings, and then whenever we switch between them and you're in an area that has that battle, we'd have to alternate. We have to swap out all of those to the new party to keep them safe. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put save states down, and if we get a squad wipe because of X-Zone being trash, I'm just blaming it on Brave New World. But I understand there's a way to counter it. But man, is that fiddly micromanagement. You need to know which rooms have the potential to wipe your party in a random encounter. And I don't like messing with equipment that much. I don't mean to rag on the mod too much, but anyway, this is our first junction point, so we have to switch parties anyway now, so that's why I'm glad I didn't bother equipping 4 spirit rings. I know that there's a way in-game to balance that, but it's just too much hassle. We've also talked a bit about throwing more powerful knives here. They should do a lot more damage than the shurikens and stuff. I haven't actually really tested it yet, but I did try to buy a fair number of the cheap knives that you can buy. I think those are the only 3 you can buy, so I'm going to test those out with us as we go through here. Let's just get a feel for how strong this group is compared to Celeste's group, who only really had 1 liability in Gao. Everyone else was pretty powerful. We're off to a great start. Now, they'll probably be immune to arrow just to prove that Cyan's weapon is useless, but I like that effect. That actually did some damage, not bad. So there's Shadow doing 1,000 damage. Could be worse, right? You know what? Let's just do a physical attack just to compare. Let's see, how much can you do, Cyan? We got the arrow again. I just want to see his physical damage, but I mean, 2,000 to the group with arrow is, well, not quite 2,000, but it's something. We could try X-Zone on them, but it's not how I like to play, usually. I'd like to, I guess, these types of enemies, I know I'm kind of wasting time here, they tend to have, they tend to be immune to certain elements, is what I'm worried about. Let's try non-elemental here. I know it's really expensive. Meanwhile, we're getting crushed. Yeah. I wish Shadow had a healing option as well, because he just doesn't put out for me. That did a tiny bit more damage than his physical attack, but not by much. Bectagoyles. I should have had him cast Float. I think Shadow has Float. Alright, that spell definitely did some work. Okay, good to know that Black Omen is powerful. But seeing as basically every party's gonna need Float, we better get that going. Oh yeah, Aqua Rake. I would expect them to probably be immune to water. That's my guess. Gets 2 attacks per turn, that's fun. Tempest should make pretty short work of them, though. It's a very, very powerful Bushido. Over 10,000 damage, no trouble there. So yeah, Cyan seems pretty awesome. I'm still struggling with Shadow, but I feel like this team should be okay. And Strago is turning into a pretty good nuker, so I like that. Alright. Alright, B team. Let's make it through this area. Treasure. Ninja Star. Well, we've got 2 of them now for emergencies. Prometheus. Right. Well, so, the other team had Edgar, and he made this stuff look easy. It's probably weak to lightning, I guess. I guess we should probably scan them. He's almost certainly weak to lightning, though. I'm pretty sure you could probably just go with Bolt 3 and murderize him. Weak to lightning. And water. Alright, well that does mean that Strago's got some spells. We'll use Aqua Rake because it's cheaper, but Tsunami would work. Now this could be a problem because this team is not immune to fire. It didn't do as much damage as I was expecting, but yeah, there's not a lot of... There's only so many pieces of equipment that will absorb or block fire completely. And I gave them all to Celeste because maybe she'll cast Murtaugh. So Cyan's pretty good. He's not quite on Edgar's tier. He'll never do 20,000 damage in a round. But, you know, he can do 10. Unfortunately, it kind of splits. This is great. We're taking a lot of damage here. Well, alright. The enemy is too fast. That's part of the problem here. He's getting an awful lot of big attacks in before we can really do anything. I assume this is all part of Brave New World's... That's fun. So, yeah, I mean, she dodged it. I assume this is all part of Brave New World's balancing. They just want to make the final dungeon really difficult. And I guess they've succeeded. Well, we're all gonna die again, so... Alright, then we just run away, because it's one of these battles where you can't keep everyone alive without... You kill the bot, you kill them quickly, or you get stuck in a cycle of trying to, Yeah, that's... Alright, this is... Yeah, I'm having a great time. That's what you'd expect. Anyway, Terra's magic is really cheap, half price, so it's really nice to use her for the menu healer. Oops. No problems there. Like, it was cool that I had a group that was completely immune to fire, so that these guys weren't so bad. But I can't have a party... Like, you know how much micromanagement for the gear? If every team, while you're walking through the cave, you have to give them full fire protection, and then when you get into the inside research facility style graphics, then you've got to give everyone death protection. Like, I don't know, man. There's a second ninja star, great. That's an awful lot of gear messing around, like... Because you can't just have all 12 characters immune to all elements and statuses all the time. That's not possible. So this guy is water, if anything, I guess. I guess maybe I'll just put Shadow in the back row. I was hoping his physical attack wouldn't be completely garbage, because you can't really boost his magic, so his vigor was kind of what I was counting on, but... I think he's immune to winds, which makes storm useless. And it was water and ice, hopefully? Need a win here so I don't look so bad on video. And that did good damage. I'm assuming Tsunami would also probably kill him. I had Ice 2. Actually, X-Magic Ice 2 would have been better. I forget that Strigo has one semi-decent magic spell. If he just had all elements to level 2, that actually wouldn't be too bad with X-Magic. The problem is, he doesn't have the ability to go level 3 magic times 2. Oh yeah, I didn't put... Of course I didn't put Float. So if you ever forget that, I mean, at least he didn't do too much damage, but... I guess, you know, it's just the final dungeon's really testing you to make sure you've basically protected from everything at all times and you never forget to keep everyone's float on. Who even has float? Does anyone have float? Alright, good thing one person in my party has float, or else we'd have no way to avoid all the earthquakes and magnitudes. Well... I say no way. There might be one item that we can consume to do it. But... Alright, so I guess this is the only way to go. Hey, look! You might remember this place from Vector. I'm not ready. I'm not ready! In the back row. Alright, Terra. Take us in. It's Atma. Again. The real Atma. Yeah. Be cool if you could bring 3 or 4 women and there was no men at all. And then it's like, haha, you can't steal our souls because there's no man here. Anyway. In this situation, boss mode. I gotta think boss mode. The reason Shadow's here is not for his physical attack. It's because he's got nice boss spells. So does Terra. We're gonna cast Slow on the boss. We're gonna cast Safe on the party. That one. We're gonna use Kieran to cast Regen on the party. We're gonna get all our buffs up real quick. Try not to die to Atma Weapon today. And he's gonna ignore all of our defenses and just use Quarter instead to cheat. And then he'll follow it up with damage and just kill us. Don't be dismissive here. Alright, well we got haste. I think we cast slow on him. I didn't see if it missed or not, honestly. Lifeguard is regen. That should be good. What you cast on the kids in the pool when they're dying, when they're drowning. Just cast regen on them. Alright, well let's just see how much a shuriken does. Not much. Let's also scan him, although I would be willing to bet that he's not weak to any elements. We could try to get shell on people as well. I'll think about it. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a dispel magic type thing, the same as the first Atma weapon. Weak to ice, really? I was not counting on that. Well, Strago was a really good choice to bring here. Assuming he doesn't die here. Alright, well. Ice it is, man. Let's see. Well, everyone's got Regen, and I think Regen just is... It's Sap and Regen that counter each other, not Poison. Poison's on its own sort of thing. Well, okay, I threw a normal Ninja Star. We don't have any Ice Scrolls, but I did pick up one Invis Scroll. I think this was like a really rare steal. I assume it cast Vanish, but you can't just buy them anymore. Let's just throw some of these other knives to see how the damage compares to the Shuriken. It's a bit better, but not that exciting. We do have Holy here, but Cyan's not particularly amazing with magic. No Remedy. But I would like to use Terra to deal damage more than heal Strago. You know, not bad. He doesn't quite have the level 3 ice, but this does pretty good damage. No nasty counter. Alright, this is looking up. Luckily, everyone's floating. I had a feeling the boss would have some sort of earth attack. The original one did. Yeah, as long as he's weak to ice, yeah. Could go Fenrir, but Fenrir just cast Vanish on the team and his magic would wipe us out, so... I'm just trying to, you know, weigh my options here. Let's try the next one. So we got like 2600 damage here. Let's try the Sakura. That's definitely stronger. We're getting up there in damage to the point where maybe I should have bought more of these things. Okay, we'll try, well... Probably have to have Terra heal that. Yeah. And let's try throwing the Ninjato as well. Yeah, you know, 4,000 damage from the back row isn't the worst. Most characters can deal more damage than that without too much trouble. And we do have to buy those, but, it could be worse. Atma is a pretty tough boss. 4,000 damage from a very fast character that can do that pretty quickly. It's not too bad. I don't think Shadow's my worst character. He's just the weakest on this team. He's probably still, in my opinion, better than Gao. Alright, now his power level's rising. Yeah. So now's when you want to rush if you can rush, probably. Save up Strago's turn for an Ice 2 right now. It's not too bad. Let's just throw some more Ninjatos at him. Hopefully he doesn't have a nasty counter now. And Tempest was pretty good. And oh. Well, maybe we'll get an attack, maybe we'll die. Look at them all living. Alright, everyone gets healed. Not anywhere near enough time for Terra to consider morphing. Besides, she's kind of stuck on healing duty here. Alright. Cure 3 went in real quick. The X magic does have a lot more delay on it than typical single casting magic, so it even slows down Strago even more. I mean, Shadow's probably gonna get like 3 turns for every one of Strago's. Alright, so he's maybe got Shell or something on him now, like when he powered up. So it might be worth trying to cast Dispel on him. Is that his version of Dispel? I think that's what brings us all down, right? Well, it worked on a couple people. Oh, it put Shadow under Berserk. That's a status ailment one. Alright, well, what we're going to do is... I don't trust Berserk here. Let's get him remedied. And everyone's in pretty good health. Let me just see if there's any... did we lose status? No, we've all got all of our statuses. So that was not the Dispel. That was the status ailment. That's fine. So we'll just do some more damage. I'm gonna... No, let's just deal damage. I was thinking like I could try to Dispel him, but I don't think anyone has the right spell for that. And now I wish I'd saved Terra's turn for healing. Could be worse. Yeah. Just don't have the right character for Dispel. Oh! I can't believe it. Shadow has the right spell. So theoretically, if this hits, we might get rid of his Safe and Shell. Looks like it worked. If it can work, it should have worked. Yeah, totally, because we did way less damage last time. Look at this, Shadow! Getting work! This'll just kill somebody. It ignores magic defense, so just all you can do is just have enough HP to survive the hit, so... Or reflect, I guess. Apparently, interestingly enough, it sounds like Atma Weapon here actually doesn't have very high magic power for his spells. Which is odd, but hey, look at me not complaining. I'm just in... Okay, well that was actually not too bad. Good job, team. And honestly, Shadow with the Clutch Dispel there, if I'd done it a bit earlier, Haste X, he doesn't really dish out damage, but he's got a couple really good spells to throw in. Alright, did we actually not get anything for killing him? He didn't drop anything? Why didn't he drop anything? I mean, he dropped a save point, but you can't use save points to heal anymore. Oh well, I'll take it. That was fun. Alright, well, I've been kind of not happy with the random encounters in here so far, but on the other hand, Atma Weapon was a pretty good fight. I liked that. Definitely not as difficult as I was expecting. We're going to need to use Strago to do some osmosing pretty soon because we can't tent up like usual. But otherwise, we're making some progress here. Alright folks, that's all for today's episode. Next time, we'll continue on and hopefully we'll make it to another boss. And we won't get bogged down by random battles infinitely. See you guys there. Thanks for watching.